Good afternoon, Adam. How you doing?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, mate. Excited to be here. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Do you know what? Do you know why I'm brilliant, mate? Do you know why that is?
I think it's something to do with Dark Souls 3.
It is to do with Dark Souls 3. People have already worked that out because they're seeing the footage, aren't they? That's the joke doesn't work as well.
It works for us, don't worry.
It works for us. So I've played about 8, 9, maybe 10 hours of Dark Souls 3 from the beginning. I started as a thief class because I saw you playing as a thief class in the footage you captured, and it looked so much fun. I played that for 2 hours. Did the first boss, got to the second boss, the Frost Dog we call it, Boreal Valley, Guardian of Boreal Valley, and no. Start again, mate. Start again. Because it's really hard as a thief.
Yeah, it's really tough as a thief.
I mean, did you get that impression as well then? Like, it's not just me being shit.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
I am shit.
When I was hitting the enemies and stuff like that, it would do literally next to no damage at all, and it was just a nightmare. And I felt like I was actually having to like hammer these cunts like big time, and it was a nightmare because I just wanted. Obviously, when I was playing it, I was timed, so I had to try and get through as much as I could. I felt like I was being really held back by the thief class. I wish I could have just restarted, but I just was like, I can't waste any time, so I'll just bomb it.
So I started as a knight, which is the class I'm most familiar with. But before we do, I mean, the knight's the knight. It's the sword shield guy. I want to talk about weapon arts, Greg, because I know they were present, obviously, in the build you played, but I know you didn't get much chance to investigate them. So I want to talk. We should say, we're not going to go any further than any of the footage anyone else has put out there yet. And we're not going to purposely spoil the game, but we are going to be talking about stuff that's minor spoil. If you want to go in completely fresh, then like you probably aren't clicking play on this anyway, right? I mean,
yeah, it's mainly we mainly just talk about mechanics that are just people will be curious about. They just want to know what's kind of in the game, so it's nothing majorly spoilery. But if you do want to go in blind, it's probably best to just skip.
So weapon arts at this point are probably my favourite new thing to a FromSoft game since Bloodborne, really.
Yeah.
Because of the way the trick weapons.
Yeah.
It's kind of, they're not trick weapons, but every weapon has an art, okay? So when you start as a thief class, you got a shield and you got a dagger. And the dagger has a weapon art, which is quick step. And quick step is the Bloodborne style, when you would lock on, and it's the strafe kind of thing, the jump strafe, that's the quick step, that's what it is, right? Now, I didn't like that very much, although I should say, you can actually do that out of locking on. You don't have to be locked on. It's because you press L2, left trigger. That's how you activate your weapon art. But most of them require you to be two-handing the weapon. So if you press the left trigger when you're just sword and dagger and shield, nothing happens. Oh, sorry, we'll do parry, because that's the shield's weapon art, parry. Now, starting with the knight, the knight's two-handed weapon art with the sword you start with is called stance. That is because he adopts a stance, an attacking stance. And then when you're in that stance, you press R1, for normal attack, or R2 for heavy attack, and you'll do a different attack that uses up some of that new weapon art, stamina. It's like a mana bar, essentially. It's like a magic bar,
Yeah.
And that has its own Estus flask, which is an Ashen Estus flask. And you can choose how many. If you say you've got 5 Estus flasks, you can divide them how you want at Firelink Shrine, which we'll come to. But the idea is that it depends on how you play. So I like the fact that with my sword, it's got. Well, I found a shield that had a weapon art that basically lets you negate the need to be two-handed. Now I appreciate this is difficult to get across. It's something you kind of need to experience. But to do your stance, normally you need to equip your sword two-handed. But with this shield, it doesn't parry. Whereas most shields I found the art has been parry. This one, its weapon art that I'm using allows you to have the shield in your left hand, the sword in your right hand, and still do your stance. Okay. So that means you can. There's enemies like Undead Settlement is an area where there's like these big enemies, and they come at you quite slowly. So I like the fact that you can sort of wait for them in your stance, but just in case someone else jumps out at you, there's someone over there. Shit. Okay, quickly you can get back to your shield. You haven't got to worry about switching your weapons up.
Yeah.
And you can. So I think they showed it pre-release this weapon art, the stance, because you can with R2, you sort of draw your weapon behind you, and like a heavy attack, you sort of strike down to up, almost as if you could lift someone in the air. I haven't done that yet. I don't know if that is. I'm sure I saw that in some of the pre-release stuff they showed. Do you remember that?
I think I recall seeing something like that. I can't specifically remember. I've kind of wiped the preview stuff, and I've just kind of done my own preview stuff. So that's I keep like replaying it in my mind. But I feel like I did see something along those lines.
I'm sure I saw it. It was almost like DMC where they could throw them up in the air.
Yeah.
You know. But I haven't done that yet. Whether it's because I'm doing it because I'm not wasting my mana. The thing is that bar has its own leveling up. Like leveling up. Oh shit! What is it? I can't remember which skill it is. But leveling up one of them, it not only gives you more of a bar for your weapon art, but it also changes your attunement slots. Right? You know.
All right. Okay.
Because magic is obviously still a thing. You know.
Yeah. See the bar. Does it drain fast? Because when I played the preview build, there was no. Oh, I played as thief, so there's my fucking error there. But when I played it, there wasn't really that many arts that I came across, and when I did come across them, I didn't really know how to use them because I don't think I really had enough time to kind of try it all out, like kind of trial and error and stuff like that. But does it go down really fast? Because I never really used it. The only one I used was the rapid fire on the bow. And it was useless.
so here's the thing, right? That is a weapon art for that bow. Different bows may have different weapon arts. So one of them enables you to sort of go into not no scope mode, but you can draw the bow back really slowly, pull the bow back, let go, bang, and it's like an extra strong power.
Okay.
One of them lets you. So when you're a thief, you roll around an awful lot.
Yeah.
I think. But that also disrupts the flow of combat and uses up stamina. But one of your weapon arts lets you roll, and at the end of that roll, you fire off an arrow at whatever you're locked onto.
I actually think I found that one as well. I think I did, but I don't think I really used it because it was just I didn't really work out how to use it. I sound like a fucking noob, but it was a short period of time.
But does the bar go down quickly? I mean, depends how you use it. I found I tend to use it quite sparingly.
Yeah.
I mean that move I was talking about where you swipe from down to up. The thing is that actually lets it moves, so you don't just stand on the spot and do it. You kind of draw it out, and as you move across, you swipe up. So it's actually a good attack to get the jump. But that also means if you're facing the boss, like you're right in the mix of it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But then you can get in a couple of swings and get away and recharge. But I find that by the time I was getting to a bonfire or going back to a bonfire, I had used up one Estus flask of Ashen Estus flask for the mana bar. Yeah.
Did you ever change the balance of them? But between the Estus and the regular one.
Not yet, but because even now, sort of 8 to 10 hours in, I'm getting used to the mana. I don't know if we should call it mana. It's weird because some of the casting a heal miracle. It uses endurance, obviously, because like it would any weapon, when you use any weapon, it uses up your endurance, but it also uses the mana bar, and in that case, it is actually mana. But even the chimes have their own weapon art. I can't remember what one of them does. It definitely does something relating to the spell you're using.
Yeah. See, and I didn't use any of the I think they're called talismans. Maybe that's something else. I didn't really use any of the kind of spells. I actually used no spells when I played it. Have you used any spells on it? Cause I'm kind of curious to see how they are.
I'm not a big fan of magic builds in the Souls games. I tend to go very strength heavy. I don't even use deck. Like I say, I go for the knight, so I go for a quite strong build.
Yeah, so do I usually.
I just find it plays to my. I like that play style.
Yeah, same.
But NPCs are a thing as well. Now, something about this game I want to talk about so far. There's a lot of NPCs, a lot of them in a small amount of space. And if you follow their quest lines, they go back to your Firelink Shrine, which some people are going to dislike the hub. I mean, how do you feel about the hub being there?
I kind of enjoy it. I've enjoyed it. The hub would count as Dark Souls 2 Majula. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Majula's. Yeah, it's exactly that. And I know a lot of people didn't like that.
Oh no, I thought it was great. I think it's really good to go back somewhere and just know that you're okay there, and that's where you can level up and find things and buy things. I feel like it's just it's a good kind of safe place to go. especially
No,
when
totally
you're feeling
agree.
when you're battered from battle.
Here, however, like running into NPCs and filling out their quest line sends them kind of back to Violent Shrine, and they become vendors or something. They give you more quests. Even when there are even characters that once they're a vendor, there's like a quest line for them still.
Right, okay,
like even, you know, but there seems like a lot of them for the early game of Souls. Like I don't know, it seems like a lot of them, and it's finding one of them that made me realising that despite the fact that there's no hollowing effect on your health, there is hollowing in this game.
Okay, when I played it, I didn't really see any hollowing effects.
No.
I think it was reported that there wasn't going to be any, but I did read somewhere after the previews came out that someone had like encountered it, and I thought it was kind of strange. I was expecting it when I went in, but explain how hollowing works in this one.
I can't
Okay.
fully because I don't 100%. So the hollowing, there's a character, and I'm just in my head. I'm ruminating over whether I'll actually include him in the video or not because it seems spoilery. But there's a character that you send back to goes back to your shrine to serve you, and when you go talk to him when he gets back there, he gives you a free level. You go up to him and it says draw out your true strength. And you pick that, and it just goes to the leveling up screen. You're like, what's going on here? It doesn't use any souls, it just gives you a free level. I don't know if that's for like if people are struggling, perhaps it gives you a free level. But when you do so, when you take that free level, because like who's not going to take a free level?
Yeah, so wait,
You know?
so when you're leveling up, is it just one level you can go up, or even more?
With him so far, I've only found one.
Okay.
I don't know if there's more because he's not gone anywhere. I don't know if there's a quest. It seems like there's more to it. I just don't know what. But once you do that, you get this little this item. I've forgotten the name of it, but it seems to have some sort of hollowing stat has started, but it doesn't do anything that I can see.
So it doesn't knock down your health or endurance or anything?
No. I mean, quite the opposite, because in this game you can get embers. I don't know if you encountered any embers. Now, they're brilliantly useful.
I did encounter them, but I can't remember what they're for.
So it's kind of like humanity. If
Oh,
you
yeah. I did.
were hollowed.
Yeah, I remember.
Because by consuming ember, you get a bigger health bar until you die.
Yeah,
But
did you notice when you played it? See, I completed a boss. I can't remember what it was, but like afterwards, I was like, my health was huge, and
yeah,
there was
that's after the first boss.
yeah, it was really weird, and I had no idea what it was, but I was like, fuck it, I love it, and just went with
Yeah,
it.
I mean that's the thing. I've got a few embers at the moment, but I'm not sure how common that you can buy them, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
But I tend to not use them. It's in the similar way to Dark Souls 2, right? I wouldn't bother using humanity until either I wanted to summon or I was going to go and do a boss and wanted full health.
Yeah,
you know?
so it was the same with me. I never used it unless I was getting a wee bit kind of too far down, and I wanted to kind of replenish it, or for multiplayer.
And Ember does the same, and you don't lose that health until you die, which is cool. So yeah, I don't know. There's something there. I want to talk about boss design as well, Greg, because we fought the same bosses, and I think that Dark Souls 3's boss design so far, very early days really for a Dark Souls game, but I think the bosses so far are better than Dark Souls 2.
No, I would agree with that. I would certainly give that statement a big tick, because I feel in Dark Souls 2 they were more humanoid. I feel I could not predict them, like not predict their moves, but predict their design. I knew a lot of them were going to look like people, I suppose, but in Dark Souls 3 they seem a bit more, I don't know, beastly, and they seem a bit more inventive. Yeah. Especially the final one, the kind of big tree fella.
He's a bastard.
Yeah, he definitely is. His kind of boss fight works. He's enormous, which is it's kind of strange, because I've not really fought a boss that big, and the area you're in is enormous as well, and there's also other enemies about. But to damage him, it's not just a case of hitting him like whenever you want, and you can hit him wherever. You have to hit these kind of pus kind of sacks, I suppose, and they are really hard to find and hit and destroy all in one. Add a new dimension, I would say, to the boss fights. But what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed that fight, but he, whereas the Frost Dog, and that's what I'm going to call him. I'm sorry, but the Frost Dog is a super aggressive enemy, and especially the second phase. My God, that thing just starts running up and down the room and just trying to batter you.
It is unmissable.
It is, yeah. But like the tree is a little bit less aggressive to start with. But as you say, it's a different. It feels so far all three fights. I think three. Well, I mean, saying that, there's a dragon in the first area that I never even bothered went. I'm not going near you. He's spitting fire at everyone. I don't know if you can go and fight him or attack him. Probably can. You normally can.
I don't know if you can hit him. I think he's the one that was in the beta. What is that, right?
Yeah,
the one that's on top of the kind of settlement.
I'm sure you can. Yeah, I'm sure you can see. No, on the High Wall of Loric, or what it's called. He comes along and he starts throwing fire down.
Oh,
and he kills
yeah,
loads of enemies for you.
yeah.
I bet you can kill him.
I don't know, actually, you probably can, I'm assuming. Maybe you can't. I thought he was just like a kind of, like, he tried to block the path, but I don't know if you probably can fight him some way. Maybe
Yeah,
not,
but
but you probably couldn't in the beta, that's probably why we didn't know.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you can.
I want to talk about the Undead Settlement a little bit, because I think that's the first major area, because it's got loads of branching paths and lots of different enemies. Like these little impish things that are lethal. Did you encounter them?
I did, the little ones when you go down at the house and the kind of the cellar. Fuck, they were just a nightmare.
Yeah, they're alright, you can kill them easily, but once they jump on you, they just lash at you like, over and over again.
Yeah, when one hits you, it just allows the rest to just run up at you. And I think you get hit once, you're just kind of ambushed, and it's really tough to come back for that.
I mean, it's like you come out of there, and then there's a few grunt enemies, and then there's these weird, big, sort of fat things that throw pots at you, and once they throw the pot, they reveal they've got a hacksaw. That they just charge at you.
Yeah.
And I found them interesting because they appear to have shields strapped to their back that they don't use. And I think you can't backstab them.
I did try, I think. I do remember them. They were just before... They were...
There's a couple just before the boss.
Yeah,
actually,
just near the boss door, yeah. I think I did try to backstab them. I don't think it worked, though. I tried to backstab as many enemies as I could, just to kind of to get used to the kind of mechanic before it comes out, but I couldn't backstab them at all.
It's potential that you could parry them.
I don't know if I did parry them. I don't really use shields. I ended up when I played I took the shield away, which is probably stupid.
Really?
Yeah, because I was a bit kind of YOLO. Oh, fuck it, I'll just go with no shield, and it kind of made me faster as well. But I just like using two-handed weapons without a shield. I don't know why.
Well, before we go, there is one final little tidbit I want to get out there, because I noticed straight away at the Firelink Shrine you can buy the soapstone. So that means, in theory, after you do that first boss, which is kind of tutorial stuff, really, after you've done that and you get this Firelink, you can co-op probably the entire game, or most of.
I think the new password system as well will encourage people to do co-op more. I think buying the soapstone early on it really does encourage co-op. I think co-op is a good thing in Souls games, especially when you're really stuck on a boss. It's really disheartening when you can't get past it. I think the ability to just like shout your pals and be like, "Can you come and fucking help me?" It'll really kind of encourage people to not kind of quit and be like, "Fuck this, I'm not playing it anymore because it's too hard." But the password system and the soapstone, they'll both be kind of make co-op more accessible, I suppose. Because I think playing the first, I think when I play it, I'll play the first playthrough. Fuck's sake, that's a mouthful. Play the first playthrough through with just myself, solo, fuck anyone else, but with the second time I'm probably going to do co-op, because it's the same with Bloodborne. I did play the first one through myself, and then when I came back to it, I ended up just doing, me and you did co-op the full way, and then I did it the third time as well, co-op, but it's really enjoyable. It's a really enjoyable aspect.
I agree, I totally agree. I'm looking forward to it, but that is basically it, because I want to go and play more of this, and I can't talk about the bits that I'm on now. So, Greg, you can be found on Twitter at Greg Hill. I'm at JebusF. At God is a Geek, if you want to ask us any questions, by all means do. Patreon.com/GodIsAGeek is basically where we make money. And you can probably hear in my voice, I've got a terrific head cold. So, I don't know, maybe we'll start a second Patreon. Adam's cough suite. I don't know.
Too many soothers.
Soothers and glasses of water. Do come back, soon. We'll have more for you when we can. Otherwise, thank you very much to Greg for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Should have backed the God is a Geek Patreon.